Hey everybody, it's Austin here with Dream and Rotary. This is just kind of a quick update since I haven't posted anything for quite a while. The RX-8 here still has oil pressure problems. I'll explain that in a minute. And the RX-7 back here, looking as good as it does. Scoot out the frame. That thing's going to be killer. That thing, haven't made any progress on that because I've been putting all my time into this. So the quick update is that this still has oil pressure problems despite me doing the front cover gasket twice now. The second time making sure that I scraped off that the O-ring that controls the pressure from the front cover to the front iron. Those usually have problems. That's usually where a lot of people's oil pressure problems come from. I've personally had that issue in my Turbo 2 swapped first gen that I did a couple years ago. And they drove that down the street and back, and it had that problem, so I basically just pulled the front cover off while I was in the car real quick. Just didn't even have to take the oil pan off, and then put the front cover back on after I cleaned it up, used the right O-ring, and stuck it back on. It worked. I beat the crap out of that car for the couple months I had it. But this thing has been a turd with that. So basically now I have had the whole top of the motor off, 3 times? For the pulling the motor and then doing the front cover and doing the front cover again. What we are theorizing right now is that this motor has a cracked iron in it somewhere. To me it looks like it's getting coolant in the oil on the dipstick. Looks like there's coolant in the oil now. And then it looks like there's potentially the cracked iron is causing it to lose pressure, oil pressure as well. So the only way to really fix that and to find it is to pull the motor out again, rebuild it, and while rebuilding it, try to find the cracked iron or where it is cracked or what have you. So what I'm going to do is actually spend another couple days, it'll actually be a couple weeks when it's all said and done, pulling this motor out of this car, and basically I just need to get it out and pull it apart, tear it down, degrease it, clean it up, try to inspect it a little bit here, and then I'm bringing it to my motor builder, Rob. I'm going to post probably a link to his stuff here, maybe now or maybe after it's done, whenever I get to talk to him about it. He is probably the leading force that makes me want to actually pull this motor again. It's very demoralizing having to pull it again considering I just built it. Maybe there's a crack in the iron I didn't notice. Maybe we don't find a crack in the iron and it's something with the oil coolers constantly being open, and as oil pressure drops, as the heat rises, that the thermostat's sticking open and causing low pressure, but that doesn't. There's so many things. We were wondering if one of the dowel pin O-rings had rolled and pinched and was spraying out oil into the oil pan again from the dowel pin. I mean, we've been looking for everything. Oil control ring and the rotors. I mean, I've tried just about everything I can think of in order to try to find this thing without pulling the motor, and it's pretty much come down to I just have to pull it again. So the idea is that this week I'm going to spend tonight, now that I've kind of cleaned up the garage a little bit, pulling the top end of this motor apart and probably getting as far as I can tonight in a couple hours, with retaining my sanity. And then tomorrow the goal is to have this motor out completely separated from the car, and then Wednesday night it all has to be torn down, degreased, ready to go in a car to bring over to Rob's on Thursday. And then I think he's going to ultrasonic clean the housings and the irons specifically and the rotors so that he can inspect them for issues that he thinks that might be in there and anything he can spot. And then I am going to help him rebuild this motor and try to learn what I did wrong, potentially if we can find it or if there's a bad part. So that is the update on this car. That other red one there that looks better and better every day the day goes by because it's so simple. That thing needs to get done here too. I want to get that done in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks max. The first weekend of May it has to be running and driving in my opinion. I need it to run and drive for that weekend. So that needs to get kicked into high gear. Basically just have to rehab the front suspension in that. The front suspension that's on it must have sat over grass for years and it rusted shut, so I can't get any of the nuts or bolts on that to spin whatsoever, which sucks. But I've got a different one of a car that sat over concrete from a parts car that everything moves just like it should. All the bolts I can get loose, and so I'm going to refurbish that one completely to like better than new spec, with Takako lowering spring or Takako shocks, and then Racing Beat lowering springs, and then Moog parts for the entire front end. Like literally every part is Moog except for the threaded rod that goes between the inner and outer tie rods. I mean, every other thing is Moog. That'll be an awesome upgrade for that car compared to stock. And then once I get the front suspension sorted, then it's on to basically just dropping the motor and tranny in. I've got the carb over at Rob's right now. He's going to soda blast it on Thursday, and then he's going to, I can pick those up on Thursday when I drop off the RX-8 motor, and then I'm going to start probably trying to fly through that thing this weekend. And then that thing is going to start getting closer and closer to running and driving, because I really do miss driving a first gen, and I just have not been doing my best to finish it. I've had it for over 2 years now, and just haven't made much progress in probably the last 16 months or more. So that's kind of the quick update. Probably turned into a long update, but just in case you guys were wondering where everything was at, I have a whole bunch of footage for this turd that I need to edit and put together and narrate and all sorts of stuff for this. And then I need to start shooting more for the RX-7 when I put the flares on, when I do the front suspension rehab, when I do the seats and the cage install and all that stuff. So there's a lot more coming. I appreciate the patience and the new subscribers that I've seen lately. Thanks again for watching all the stuff, guys. I really do appreciate it. Kind of keeps me going and helps me on my own builds as far as being accountable to keep going. So thanks again for watching for like the third time. Keep repeating myself. I will catch you guys later, hopefully with some progress on this pig. And then once the motor's out of this thing, I'm going to start on that when I get the carb on Thursday, finally. And then it'll be go time. I want to get both these things going in the next couple weeks really well, because I want to have them out on the road together. Yeah, so that's about it. Sorry for the length, but just kind of in case you were wondering. Thanks again, guys. This is Austin with Dream and Rotary. Keep on rotating, fellas.